Well, it's been 6 months, but it is that time just about to get back going. New drivers, new sponsors, same old action here tonight. Season 2, Round 1 of the GoSquadra Formula Super Series kicks off with the Ardennes Grand Prix presented by ProGuard Warranty and EDA Eyewear, and it emanates from Circuit Spa-Francorchamps here tonight. Coverage will begin around the turn here on Turn 200.
40 Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel designed for sim racing by sim racers. 40 racing shoes are engineered to connect racers to the pedals in a way no other racing shoe can, all the while giving you the comfort needed to complete those double and triple stints. Visit 40racewear.com and check out the latest sim racing products that let you connect to your sim.
A blind knight that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon keep, endangered by combatants, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, or don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
Rogue Knight I've been hearing about. Could you find the key and unlock my cell?
Free them to fight back with more allies.
Let's take this guy.
The dungeon labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find your freedom.
When Alex became a god, he thought he would have no problems at all. Until... He landed in the divine dimension and was tasked with protecting the entire multiverse.
Am I connected to every single Alex Ambrose that ever existed?
Alex could travel across dimensions, defying the laws of time and space, to help other Alexes throughout the multiverse. But then everything changed.
No! Aw!
I have to go back and save them.
But if Alex went back to the mortal world, he would relinquish all of his power and his memories.
I don't have a choice. I must go back.
When Alex returned back to Earth, he goes back to being your average business tycoon millionaire, unaware that the people he cared most about are in danger.
Someone help me!
Yvonne, what happened?
I was attacked by a monster. Alex? What's going on? Get away from him! He is my boyfriend!
Who attacked Yvonne in the forest? What will Debbie do next? Who will Alex choose between the two women? Will Alex ever remember who he was before traveling into a different multiverse? To hear what happens next and whether Alex can stop the deranged monster before he strikes again, listen to the original audio drama, Insta Millionaire Returns, only on Pocket FM. Download the app now and find out.
Presentation.
Welcome back to Turn 200's coverage of the GoSquadra Formula Super Series season opener. We're so happy to be back here. My name is Tommy Cook. My partner Matt Williamson will be alongside here momentarily. Welcome in to Circuit Spa-Francorchamps. One of the most famous, one of the most dangerous circuits on the planet. And tonight it plays host to virtual racing here for the very first time on Turn 200, and also for the first time with the Formula Super Series. Of course, it is the host of the Belgian Grand Prix. 19 turns, 4.3 miles. This is a behemoth of a track with potentially the most famous corner complex in all of racing, Eau Rouge in Ardennes. And for those of you that speak the language, yes, you know I'm doing a terrible job. Even the Brits make it sound better than me. But I'm working with what I got here. And there are lots of corner names and straight names here, so get ready for the butchering. As kind enough to give us a lap here, rather than the AI car that we had last season, Matt Short has stepped in. He didn't give us a voiceover this week. He says one is coming, but that means that I get to voice over the lap here around Spa-Francorchamps. And of course, we're coming down the pit straight, heading into the hairpin in turn number 1. That is La Sauce. Tight right-hander down the old pit straight here, headed towards this little kink in turn number 2, and that will set us up for the bad mamma jamma here. Eau Rouge, Radion, 3, 4, and 5, flat out uphill coal tires. That is going to be a mess. Around the little bend in turn number 6, down the Camel Straight, the speed trap of the circuit, upwards of 190 miles an hour possible here, and then we break for Lacombe. Right-handers in 9 and 10 will set us up for a 90-degree left into turn number 11. We start to come back down the hill. Lots of elevation change throughout the circuit. Turn 12 is Pohan. A straight into the campus complex here. Right turn, number 13. And a left turn, number 14. A right-hander into number 15, Stavelo. And another right into the Friere. And Blanchimont, the left-hander in 17. A kink in 18, headed up to turns 19 and 20. This wicked chicane. Pit entrance is off to the right there. If you stay to the left, you're on the track and headed back towards La Sauce. That is 20 turns of Spa-Francorchamps. This is the Ardennes Grand Prix, the season opener here for season number 2 of the GoSquadra Formula Super Series. Tonight it is presented by ProGuard Warranty. ProGuard is a third-generation family-owned business that has been serving the automotive industry for nearly 70 years. We offer an expansive menu of new and pre-owned vehicle protection plans through our nationwide network of dealer partners. Dealers appreciate our tradition of flexibility, transparency, and simplicity, and their customers appreciate that we protect them from the high cost of repairs. And by EDA Eyewear. High-quality eyeglasses, warm-hearted service, a talented team of craftsmen. EDA provides you with stylish, modern, and classy designed eyewear, made with superior quality materials at a reasonable price. Coverage tonight is also provided by 4D Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoe and custom apparel designed for sim racing by sim racers. And GoSquadra, the title sponsor of the Formula Super Series. GoSquadra's mission is to enhance race team management across all sim racing platforms. GoSquadra will connect drivers with teams, manage race events, create and edit stint schedules, enable easy stint adjustments on the fly during a live race, and much more. Coming soon, head over to GoSquadra.com. Well, after hearing me talk for almost 7 uninterrupted minutes, we'll finally welcome in the one that everybody's been waiting for, Matt Williamson. Welcome to Spa-Francorchamps for the first time in channel history. Welcome back to the Formula Super Series.
Yeah, it is good to be back for the season opener here. The first season was a smashing success, And lots of drivers ready to partake here in the opener of season number 2. And lots of new sponsors for the series as well. Great to see some support for the Formula Super Series. It is going to be another great season, and we are kicking it off here at Spa-Francorchamps in style.
Absolutely. This is going to be a great season, full of tracks that either have not been featured on Turn 200 before or not featured very often. Why don't we take a look at this banging 10-week schedule coming up?
Well, I'll be able to show you that here in just a second. Everything has seemed frozen on me here, so I hope everybody can at least still hear us. Oh boy, here we go.
I can still hear you on the broadcast. I think you're all right.
Beautiful. Well, I may have to totally redo SDK here because it is not responding whatsoever.
Love that.
So yeah, that's fun. I gotta love our friends over there. I'll have it here in just a second.
Okay, well, while you do that, I'll let the viewers know, for anybody that watched from last season, some of the changes from last season to this season, rules-wise. The first thing that you're going to notice, the sprint race this season has been upped from 12 minutes to 15 minutes. The feature race has been chopped by 5 minutes. It's now a 40-minute feature instead of a 45. The amateur driver's class, the AM class, has been expanded to include anybody that is at 2,000 I rating or below. It used to be 1.5 thousand. Full course cautions are now on. And these are iRacing auto-triggered cautions only. I think we had a couple of manual ones thrown, mainly after, I think the first race last season we saw a caution at Fuji, but that was, now they're auto-triggered. Restarts will all be single file. And team limits. Teams have now been limited to just 2 drivers. You could have a full stable last season. That is not the case. You've got a Eclipse competition with something like 7 or 8 teams now. So that's very interesting, very Team Watson style, and Team Watson Racing now only has 2 teams. So things are kind of backwards. I'd say overall, not a change in the rules, but a change in the vibe. The strength of field very much is higher, and the average age is very much lower.
Well, we do have the schedule here for you. Still working through a couple of things to maybe get some cars on track here. But here we are, kicking it off here at Spa-Francorchamps. Donington Park coming up season 2. You're going to notice a lot of different tracks here as we go along. I think one of the ones that maybe the drivers aren't so much looking forward to, other than maybe JJ Wang, is the Chicago Street Course. That one is always interesting, to say the least. I'm really looking forward to going to Barber here, but I mean, finishing things off at Road America, that is going to be a special race, especially for us being here in the States and up in the Midwest. That one's going to be awesome to see. The Belle Isle will be interesting as well. A couple of street courses here on the schedule this season. Those are always interesting.
Absolutely. We got our first taste of Algarve a couple of weeks ago. Portimao with the Mission R Challenge. That was a good time. That should put on a fantastic race here in a couple of weeks as well. I'm very interested to see how Donington Park goes. And Homestead Roval A, not the best Homestead Roval layout, but it's the Homestead Roval. Slept on, very much so. Always excited when we can get that up on the channel here. Well, let's see if we can get a shot of the cars on track here momentarily, as qualifying has expired, and it is the first grid of the season, getting ready for 15 minutes for the first sprint, and leading the field to green will be one of the first-time drivers here for the Formula Super Series, brought to you by GoSquadra. Sebastian Weldon will lead the field to the green flag. Max Taylor will line up to his outside. The reigning series champ, John De Gregorio, will start in third. Titus Sherlock, Hunter Engrav, and Jesse Lacey, your front 3 rows. Kevin Bonomi and Mitch Welker on row 4. Cameron Dance and Jeff Groff, they start inside the invert zone in the top 10. Michael Costello and Matt Mitchum, your top 6 rows. Byron Daly, a 3-time winner on the Formula Super Series last season. He starts in 13th. Christopher Hill, sprint winner last season, starts in 14th. Sam McDougall, Matt Johnston, and then it is Riker Matz, Zach Flaum, Zach Buchanan, and Drew Such, your top 20. 40 drivers on this starting grid. Craziness here at Spa-Francorchamps. Have we got it sorted out?
I hate to be the bearer of bad news.
Oh boy. Well, this is a new problem. I guess
This has certainly never happened before.
Keep tinkering with it. I'll go ahead and do this radio style until we get something figured out. So we are still on the starting grid. Cars are about to take off. I would say the first thing to try would be going back to the stock cameras and see if that is going to make the difference here. But for now, we are racing here at Spa-Francorchamps already. A great getaway up front for João de Gregorio, and a big crash into the first turn into La Sauce. Several drivers collected, and they are all spreading out all through Raidillon right now. It is now De Gregorio leading everybody into Eau Rouge, and Raidillon and Sebastian Weldon back in the second position. Max Taylor with a jump start is in third. He'll have to come down pit road. Cameron Dance from 9th to 4th here on the opening lap. And now going for a pass into turn number 5. That is Max Taylor on the pole sitter, Sebastian Weldon. Now Taylor going to go off into the grass. Already with a black flag to serve, and now a slowdown penalty as well. Cameron Dance is looking to get around him into turn number 7 as De Gregorio leading Weldon. Weldon trying to get away as they are racing side by side hard behind them. De Gregorio. Cameron Dance now getting passed by Jesse Lacey. Lacey will move up into the 4th position. Dance goes back one position, now has Titus Sherlock, who was fastest in practice, right behind him, right underneath his top wing. Sherlock and Sam McDougall all right here together. Max Taylor with a bit of an off track. He is still now in the 3rd position, but with a penalty to serve. Weldon 1 second behind De Gregorio for the top spot. Braking hard into the chicane. The first lap is about to be complete. Taylor will give up the 3rd position to come down pit road. Jesse Lacey now will pick up a provisional podium spot here in the 3rd position, but he's got company all behind him. De Gregorio leading Weldon still by 1 second. And remember, there is push to pass in the sprint and in the feature, 200 seconds. As now heading back into Eau Rouge in Raidillon. Heading down the Kennel Straight. Cameron Dance around the outside, tries to have it go into the speed trap, but is not going to work. He will slot back into 4th behind Jesse Lacey. Lacey still in 3rd. Sebastian Weldon now is making inroads on João de Gregorio for the top spot here. They are well ahead of this battle for 3rd as Jesse Lacey just got rooted up off of the inside. Rumble strips, loses 2 positions. Cameron Dance and Titus Sherlock move through. It's Dance in 3rd now, Sherlock in 4th, and Lacey back to 5th. Again, we're still having some technical difficulties here, so having to do this radio style on the fly. Matt Williamson, I'm sure, working fervently right now to figure out what is happening, because this has never happened before. Never seen anything like it.
I can't even get the cameras on through iRacing itself. It doesn't matter if I have SDK open or not.
Well, I would say maybe disconnect and reconnect to the session and throw up our technical difficulty screen in the meantime. That's the only thing that I can think of right now.
Alrighty, folks. Well, we'll be back in just a moment. Hopefully everything will be in working order.
Titus Sherlock has just made a pass on Cameron Dance. Sherlock up to 3rd. Now Weldon is digging hard here, heading back up to Eau Rouge and Radillon. DiGregorio with the top spot. Problems just outside of the top 10 for Cody Claiborne. He has just dropped all the way down. As here we go, back down the kennel straight. Sebastian Weldon with a nose out in front. He will cut down in front of João DiGregorio to take the lead. Weldon, the pole sitter, his first time out front here with the Formula Super Series, as DiGregorio took it from him into the first turn. Titus Sherlock is still in the third position. Cameron Dance is all over him, though. He wants to take that third spot back. J.C. Lacey right now around your top 5. It's Sam McDougal, Christopher Hill, Mitch Welker in 8th, Byron Daly in 9th, and Matt Johnston right now rounds out your top 10. He's in a spirited battle with Jeff Groff and Zach Buchanan. And appreciate everybody that stopped by the stream here already. Hello, hello. Hopefully this is doing something for you. I promise we'll get it fixed here momentarily. Sebastian Weldon with a half a second lead now. He's starting to pull away from João DiGregorio, the reigning series champion. Titus Sherlock in third. He's got a second now. Back to Cameron Dance. Dance has eased off for now. Dance, winner of multiple sprint races last season. Jesse Lacey has fallen about a second and a half behind the two drivers in third and fourth. As the field now heading back into the chicane here. We have about 9 minutes left to go in the sprint race. So see cars back on the stream. Are we back? Maybe, potentially.
Or for a moment.
I don't understand. Here we go once again down the kennel straight. DiGregorio with the slipstream on the push to pass. He retakes the top spot. Weldon not done fighting yet. Sticks a wing to the inside. Nearly wheel-to-wheel contact, but it is DiGregorio with the top spot. João DiGregorio and Sebastian Weldon fighting hard here at the front of the field. Titus Sherlock just had to fend off a similar challenge from Cameron Dance, who got a long pole down the straight. So it is Sherlock in third, Dance in fourth, Lacey now a distant fifth, and he has McDougal and Hill closing in on him as well. Through turn 15 for DiGregorio and Weldon at the front of the field. They've got 4 seconds back to Titus Sherlock and Cameron Dance in third and fourth. Dance dips a wheel off the track, loses a couple of tenths, several car lengths here, as once again the field approaching the chicane. They go around Blanchimont, and now Sebastian Weldon is pulled out to the left into the chicane. It was a good attempt to maybe get DiGregorio sleeping, but João DiGregorio still hangs on to the lead, heading back into the sauce. Or the source, I guess it's La Sauce. Problems for Zach Flaum. He is spun out into the chicane. And the chicane is the final chicane, turns 18 and 19. So Flaum goes from 13th all the way outside of the top 20. As back down the kennel straight once again, here's Sebastian Weldon. He is going to retake the lead with ease. DiGregorio tries to get back in, but doesn't want to make a second move down the straightaway. Into turn number 5, it is Weldon back to the lead. Awesome battling up front here at Spa. 6.5 minutes left to go in the sprint race. Weldon and DiGregorio have swapped the lead multiple times. Titus Sherlock still fending off Cameron Dance. They are having quite the battle here for the third position as well. DiGregorio just went off track. He lost quite a bit of time there. Was within a tenth. Now is about 9/10 of a second back. And Jesse Lacey has lost the 5th position now to Sam McDougal. McDougal moves into the top 5. Lacey stuck between Sam McDougal and Christopher Hill. So now it's Di Gregorio outside of a second, but Sebastian Weldon just dipped the tire off into the grass as well. Di Gregorio will creep in just a little bit closer now. 17x incident pass-through limit and a 25x disqualification. That is going to be less pertinent for the sprint and more pertinent for the feature, I would imagine. But still, we've had quite a few incidents already. There are only 26 of the 40 starters out on track right now, and actually there might be less than that. Jesse Lacey into the chicane has just retaken the 5th position from Sam McDougall. An aggressive move there, but it gets the job done. 5 minutes left to go. These are about a minute and 53-second laps, so we should have a couple more left here in the sprint race, as Weldon is leading now by a second and a half. Di Gregorio won't be able to make that up down the Kennel Straight here, as they have bypassed Eau Rouge and Radion. But side by side battling now for the 5th position. Jesse Lacey trying to hang on. Sam McDougall, and now they're going to go 3 wide. Christopher Hill takes it up the right side and will take a 2-for-1 special. Oh, but a huge lunge to the inside in contact. Jesse Lacey goes for a spin off of the tub of the 101 of Hill. Lacey the only driver to get involved, and he will tow back to the pits. So Lacey from 5th to out of the sprint. So it's now Christopher Hill in 5th, Sam McDougall in 6th. Mitch Welker now will move up to 7th, Byron Daly in 8th, Jeff Groff in 9th, and Matt Johnston now rounds out your top 10. Weldon hanging on to a 1-second lead at the front of the field. Di Gregorio still riding in 2nd. Titus Sherlock now has 1 second back to Cameron Dance, who nearly just went off into the sand trap there.
Well, we're kind of back.
I shudder to even think
now.
what the problem actually is. Well, thanks everybody for hanging around. Yeah, that's probably top 5, maybe top 3 weirdest thing to happen on the channel. Not really sure.
That's a top 1 goof for sure.
We could call it a goof if we really knew what set it off, but I have no clue. Regardless, things have settled down at the front of the field just a little bit, but now we're going 3 wide once again, this time for 6, as Mitch Welker is going to push the issue, and so will Byron Daly. Welker will take over 6th. Daly up to 7th. McDougall will lose 2 spots, and he goes back to 8th. And this is Mitch Welker's first appearance on the channel. He's the multi-time and defending Formula Indy Series champion. We had a huge, massive crash on the opening grid into the first turn. Who's to say it won't happen again, but it took out a swath of this field. Di Gregorio on a great move to take the lead from 3rd on the grid into La Sauce. And Sebastian Weldon gets it back after multiple attempts, and now is cruising away with a 2.3 second lead. This will be the white flag for the sprint. Weldon leading, Di Gregorio, Sherlock right now, the provisional sprint podium. And a reminder that we will be inverting the top 10 finishers here out of the sprint race to set your feature lineup. Still plenty to be determined here. I believe I was calling it the Kennel Straight. Now that I can actually take a second to look at the track map, it's the Kemmel Straight. So, anybody that speaks French, put away your weapons. I'm aware of my mistakes now. This will be a big run for Byron Daly through Eau Rouge and Rayon if we can figure out where Christopher Hill is. Or where Mitch Welker is. That's Mitch Welker. He was driving there with 0 wheels attached on the car. That was bizarre. But Daly will take the spot.
Yeah, big blink there for Welker, and then was definitely had 0 wheels from our point of view there for a moment. It's all gone wacky-doo.
Jade Gregorio has closed a little bit here on the final lap, but he's running out of corners here. As we are getting ready to hit Blanchimont. Fast, sweeping left-hander. And that will lead us down into the chicane. Sebastian Weldon with 2 more corners to navigate. And just like that, it's the 98 who will claim the first checkered of the season. Sebastian Weldon will take the checkered flag for the sprint here at Spa. And he'll crash. Oh, my. That was... Well, hopefully he didn't need that car for the feature because I think we're going to a backup. Di Gregorio and Titus Sherlock will be on the podium. Cameron Dance will finish in 4th. Christopher Hill in 5th. 6th for Byron Daly. 7th for Mitch Welker. 8th will go to Sam McDougall. 9th place for Jeff Groff, and the inverts on the pole for the feature will be Matt Mitchum in car number 19. Well, that was eventful both on and off track.
I've never sweated so much in my life for a broadcast.
Matt Short, it will not be possible to see the replay of the start because Matt had to disconnect from the session. And also, as soon as it goes to the warm-up, we won't have any video available of any part of the feature race anyway, or of the sprint race. So, yeah, thank you for the work there. That was very stressful, but well handled. So, waiting on the last few drivers to make their way across, and I believe that is going to be the final driver to cross the stripe there in 27th, Cody Claiborne. So everybody else from 28th to 40th did not finish the sprint race. That was quite the pile up there into turn number 1, and we get to do it all again here in about a minute and a half. I know you didn't get to see a lot of that race, Matt, but you could see with 40 people why it got so congested into the first few turns. Going to be very interesting.
Yeah, certainly. And I mean, even there towards the end of the sprint race, I mean, we saw lots of 3 wide action there. I mean, people, using the overtake to make those moves towards the end of the race, as they always do, save it for the end. So, yeah, I mean, lots of stuff here, lots to keep track of as well with this many drivers. Again, apologies for not getting most of that sprint race, but this feature is going to be absolutely spectacular.
And I will say this, we've done well over 200 events here on Turn 200 now, and that's the first time that's ever happened. So I know this is probably a few people's first time watching us, but hopefully we can get some slack on that one because it's never happened before. Why don't we, while we have a second here, why don't we talk about the track conditions and also what to keep in mind here for the feature, because there are a few different things that will have to be rolling around in our minds for the feature race coming up.
Yeah, definitely. We'll look at the track conditions first of all here while we're in the warm-up period. 107 degrees on the track temperature. Nothing crazy as we're getting rolling. The wind, not huge gusts either. We're at 6 miles an hour right now and might get up to 8, but nothing more than that. So not gonna be too crazy here. Like you said earlier, we do have the invert for the top 10. So Sebastian is going to be starting in 10th, and so on and so forth as we get going on there. Down to a 40-minute feature race from 45 of the last season, so a little bit of a shorter feature here as we get going. We talked about the overtake just a little bit. 200 seconds of overtake here for the drivers to use. 17x is a drive-through penalty. 25x is a disqualification, and I think we are getting ready to hit the grid.
Absolutely. Starting grid is here. It is the top 10 invert: Matt Mitchum, Jeff Groff on the front row, Sam McDougall, Mitch Welker on row 2, Byron Daly and Christopher Hill on row 3, Cameron Dance and Tyler Sherlock on row 4, and Jowdy Gregorio and Sebastian Weldon. Find out your top 10. Zach Buchanan and Nick Fleury, the top am in the sprint race. He will start in 12th. Zach Flaum and Matt Johnston on row 7, Dan Miglin, Kevin Bonomi on row 8, Gavin Baird and Dakota DeMaine, your top 18. Noah Smart and Drew White round out your top 20. Again, 40 drivers. I don't believe anybody disconnected after the sprint, so they should all still be here on the grid. We got about 15 seconds, and Matt will scroll through the rest of the starting lineup.
But also no fast repairs here in the Formula Super Series. I think that one may come into play here in the feature at some point.
It absolutely will. The lights are coming on the starting line. Matt Mitchum and Jeff Groff and everybody else will have another opportunity to get it right here into La Source. And no, Byron Daly does not go. Daly stacks up multiple drivers there. And that is a disaster on the opening grid as they fan out 2, 3, and even 4 wide into the opening turn. Cameron Dance got a huge chunk off of that car, and that is going to trigger a full course caution.
Yeah, they are still crashing down there in 1.
Byron Daly, who had some trouble getting off the grid last season and made up for it with the pace over the course of the feature races. 3 times a winner. Didn't move at all off the grid. J.J. Wang, Jowdy Gregorio, Noah Smart, Mario Capalucci, Drew White, Gavin Baird, and Cameron Dance, all with required repairs before they even make it to the opening turn.
Lots of strange things happening here at the season opener for Season 2 of the Formula Super Series.
Certainly. So I believe it's Mitch Welker, the race leader right now, as we are behind or getting ready to be behind the safety car. Mitchum, the pole sitter, falls back to 5th, and we'll take a look at this if we can.
Yeah, we have lots to look at here. I mean, they just kept crashing and kept crashing there in the back. Let's see if we can get to Daly here. And he just stalls it. I mean, he kind of tries to jump off the line and I think just stalls it. You see, I think that's Cameron Dance that immediately gets into the back of him. 2, 3 more drivers. And it's just absolute chaos. And Daly disappeared like almost immediately. I don't even know if he was trying to. And it's there's so many cars going all sorts of different directions. My replay can't even keep up with who is where. Here's a look from the front here. And you see Dance, I mean, immediately gets thrown sideways. And everybody in the back is just fanning out, you know, trying to get around Daly, but it causes other drivers to wreck each other here. That's J.J. Wang in that silver Team Watson Racing Setups car. I mean, he's in a 3-car pileup here. One of them is Jowdy Gregorio. Just absolute chaos here. And then still, as they're trying to get through this first turn, drivers still taking each other out. And then the caution flies here. Just a wild, wild opening sequence.
Yeah, that was a rough way to go for multiple drivers. Cameron Dance is still out here on track with a meatball flag in the 8th position.
Well, normally J.J. Wang would be that would be a gift for him because he loves a full course caution, but I don't think he's going to be happy about that one.
No, not this time. I wouldn't imagine. So yes, the Ardennes Grand Prix, the feature proper here, has gotten off to a rough start, that's for sure, behind the safety car. Mitch Welker pacing. He is complaining about the pace speed, which it is quite slow, I will say. 60 miles an hour, that's it's not much, especially at a track this size. I'm curious to see
if we go 1 to green.
If we go 1 to green at some point on this lap, or if we have yet to technically open the pits yet, and we'll have to do one more. Certainly, this is going to take quite a bit of time out of today's race. So the rule is you have to make a pit stop here for tires. And last season, it was after lap 10. They've added, for a situation like this, I would imagine, or after 20 minutes. Because we may not get to lap 10 for a while. So after 20 minutes in this race, you can come in and make a pit stop for a mandatory change of tires. Of course, this car cannot be refueled, so you're not taking fuel at all. Just a set of tires. And there's no alternate compound either.
Yeah, and I mean, 5.5 minutes gone already. It's already a shorter feature race, and now we have a full course caution is going to cut it down even more. I mean, we're going to get maybe a half hour of racing in here. And that's a big maybe.
Yeah.
It might be quite a bit less, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, we're coming up to the final chicane, and I would think if we were going green this time, that we would have known by now.
Looks like David Patton is pretty far behind here. Maybe got some of the damage fixed from the original incident. Going to be able to stay on the lead lap here.
And Cameron Dance is coming down pit road here. Some drivers are entertaining themselves under this caution.
That first corner, without the calamity from Daly not getting off the starting line, is already just absolutely bonkers. It's just a weird angle, just such an awkward turn to begin with. I mean, and then you throw in Daly not getting off and drivers 5 wide trying to get around him. I mean, that was just that was something.
So this first trip through Eau Rouge, assuming we make it back through turn 1 with a single file restart, if everybody's in a long line up the Kemmel Straight, holy cow, there are going to be some serious speeds into the speed trap in Lacombe. Already upwards of 190 miles an hour with this car. But that's even without people being single file. That's dragging each other 3 wide. So, I've been saying that Mitch Welker is the race leader, but Sam McDougall, I think, is the race leader, but he's been blinking so bad that he's just not shown up for a whole lap. And also, he's not behind the pace car. He's been ahead of the pace car the whole time. Okay, so we've got the one to go. I guess the half to go. So McDougal, Welker, Groff, Sherlock, and Mitchum. Weldon went from 10th to 6th on the opening lap. Christopher Hill, Nick Fleury, the top AM right now in P8. Zach Buchanan and Jesse Lacey, the top 10. Cameron Dance still getting required repairs done, so it looks like, I mean, even if he were to pull out right now, I'm not sure he'd be able to catch up to the field by the time they got back to green. But I'm assuming his required repairs are not going to be done in time for that regardless. So, I mean, a rough opening race here to a lot of the drivers that were high up in the points and contenders for wins all throughout last season. Of course, a couple of the top contenders aren't even here. No Gavin Sanders, no Caleb Bensey tonight. But John Gregorio is out. Cameron Dance presumably is out, or at least is going to be multiple laps down. And now not only is Sam McDougal gone all of a sudden, but so is Mitch Welker. Oh, and now they're both back. Okay.
Yeah, there are lots of connection issues going on throughout the field here. Of course, Welker had some issues there in the sprint race as well, so may just be an internet thing for an individual user there.
I don't know why. Even in the oval leagues, it's always worse under caution than it is under green. But you're right, Welker was having connection issues earlier. So were his tires. Mercifully, this pacing period is about to be over as we approach the chicane. Let's hope that this is the last one, but it's going to be interesting, that's for sure. Through the chicane, pace car will pull off to the right. Sam McDougal has control of the field. Mitch Welker and Jeff Groff. We're back underway, heading back into La Sauce.
Oh.
Sketchy.
Very, and Groff up the inside. Oh, there's contact farther in the back.
Oh, that's a 3-4 car pileup. DeMade is involved. Buchanan, Bonomi,
I think
Jesse Lacey, and that is another caution. Ay. Big pileup there. And that's even less racing now. That was another mess.
Albeit that one much smaller than the first.
Yeah, a little bit. Well, hopefully the admin team will look at least shortening this one up, opening pit road now, getting behind the pace car, and going right away, if that's even possible. I'm not sure. But regardless, let's take a look at this one. See where it all goes wrong.
I think this one may start with Lacey here. There was a car that was sideways pretty early on here. Oh, yeah, and there's contact. Oh, dear, contact between Lacey and that may be Bonomi. Not super familiar with the paint schemes right now. No, that wasn't Bonomi. The car comes right across the racetrack there as well. And that was Buchanan. So Buchanan and Lacey got together here through turn one. Maybe give you a better angle at this here. Off the exit of one. Kind of like they locked wheels. Buchanan may have come up into Lacey a little bit, but they could have been locked together at that point already. Also, kind of hard to say. And then Buchanan tries to keep going here, but as soon as they get back into the throttle, spin out right into Bonomi. And then you see DeMade pile in there as well. Everybody else able to get through, but a big 4-car pile up there out of 1.
So the Ardennes Grand Prix here has gotten off to a rough start, to say the least. But we want to thank ProGuard Warranty and EDA Eyewear for coming on to sponsor tonight's event. And thank you as well to GoSquadra, of course, for being the title sponsor of the GoSquadra Formula Super Series and sponsoring the Pro Drivers Championship. And also a big thank you to 4D Racewear for coming on to sponsor the AM Championship. Right now, top AM honors belong to Nick Fleury in 8th, Dan Miglin, also an AM driver, in 10th, and Brett Hahn, not 100% sure, but driver 71 is in P13 right now. So those are the top 3 AMs, and they're right around the top 10. But Michael the Turk in the chat has it right. This is essentially going to be, maybe a little bit more than 20 minutes, but a 15 and a 22, I guess.
Yeah. That's about right. That also means, everybody's going to have the 200 seconds of overtake very late here, and they're all going to be smashed together.
Yeah, I can't imagine anybody's using any overtake right now. Just a guess.
You wouldn't think. You'll probably have to give the position back anyways.
So it's official. Cameron Dance has retired from the race. So has Drew White. Other drivers that have left include Noah Smarts, Mario Capalucci, Gavin Baird, and João Di Gregorio, and of course Byron Daly. Riker Matz left and then came back, and he is currently on track, 1 lap down. Kevin Bonomi sitting in the pits after that accident is also about to be a lap down, I would imagine. His night might be over, but maybe not. And I think we are going to do an extra pace lap here, unfortunately. Not like an extra pace lap, but we're not going to go green this time. So Eric Coons in the chat says, 3rd time's the charm. Yep.
It may be.
Let's hope so. This was, once you get past the first couple of corners, I think this will be a breeze. We just haven't made it that far yet with that many drivers. And we lost, 15 on the first couple of laps in the sprint race where there was no cautions. And we're only down 7 right now. We still got a lot of butter to churn.
Oh, these drivers got plenty of churning to do, that's for sure.
And yeah, time aside, of course, it doesn't matter how much time is left. The pace is going to be fervent now. These guys are going to make aggressive moves, whereas they already were in the sprint race. We had to do most of it radio style, but still, we had 3 wide into Lacombe, 3 wide there multiple times for top positions. We went 4 wide a couple of times at various points further back in the field. It was wild racing, and it really has not been toned down at all.
No, certainly not. There goes Matt Schlosser down pit road. Looked like he had a little bit of damage to the front end of the car. Curious about what we're going to decide on pit stops here as well, if we're still going to require one, even though it's really only half the race length at this point. If that's the case, they're going to be going at a blistering pace. They're going to be flying down pit road. Pit entry and exit is going to be even more important now that you have way less time to make it up on the racetrack. So you're going to see drivers absolutely sending it into the pits and then out as well. It just makes everything more compact, more difficult, and the intensity is just going to be ramped up to 100.
I think on the next lap, after the green flag drops, the pits should be open. It'll be awfully close whether they're open by the time the green flag drops, but I can't imagine anybody would come in right on the drop of the green, but who knows? Got about a minute and 15 seconds until that is open, so yeah, I think they'll be open by the time we take the green flag, actually, so be interesting to see if anybody elects to do that or not. Well, we haven't got to showcase a lot of it here today for multiple reasons, but this is a wonderful circuit, one of the most famous in the world, has the most famous corner complex on planet Earth, Eau Rouge and Radillon, and that's not even been the trouble spot tonight.
No, certainly not. Turn 1 has been highlighted to a T here this evening. And one of them we didn't even see, but we knew what happened.
Well, we've had some pileups on the starts and on the first lap before here in the features in the GoSquadra Formula Super Series, but yeah, I don't think we've had 2 cautions in one feature before, so that is a new one. And that is 20 minutes on the clock, so pits in theory will be open unless race control has something else to say, but I've not heard anything to the contrary over the radio.
Wouldn't that be something if we see a mad dash down pit road while we're taking the green flag? I mean, why not? This race has already been kind of goofy and sideways with the cautions and not really any racing happening. Why not send everybody down pit road?
So, word from race control, the pit window is open. But if you come down pit road and if you mistime it and they have not reopened the pits, basically if you don't make it across the commitment line by the time the race has gone green, they're not going to clear your black flag. So some of the drivers in the front might be out on that one, but I'd say probably 10th, 15th on back. Yeah, I think you should be able to get in with no issues. It's about time to make that call as we're headed towards the chicane. And we'll see if indeed third time is the charm. And we can get some racing in after 21 and a half minutes. And here comes Sam McDougall from the lead. Across the commitment line, green flag is out, so that will work out.
Look
Mitch
at
Welker
everybody
now
down pit road.
Wow, almost everybody down pit road. The top 4 have stayed out. Make that the top 7 or 8 now. As for the lead, or rather in the lead is Mitch Welker. Titus Sherlock is now in second. Jeff Groff is in third. And the blinking issues are not getting any better for Mitch Welker here under the green flag conditions.
No, they are not. We got a 3-way battle for 5th currently. Vince Keefe, Hunter Engrav, Brian Labarge here battling for the 5th spot. For the back side by side, this is Flaum and Mitchum. Mitchum goes by.
These are some of the first drivers that have come off of pit road. That group was led by Sam McDougall and Sebastian Weldon. They should be in the top 10 here. As Welker's still leading and still blinking. Titus Sherlock in second. Oh, Welker just went like about half a lane off the track and nearly into the sand trap there. And Titus Sherlock is catching him, it would appear anyway. Because Welker keeps losing his tires and shedding his rear wing on my screen. But it does look like Sherlock is getting closer.
That is so difficult as a driver trying to make a pass here. You just don't know really where the competitor is, and if he appears and you're right on him, it could send both of you flying in ways that you don't want to.
You need to make your pit stop by or on the 2 to go lap. You cannot make it on the white flag lap.
Oh my goodness, I think this is real. Sebastian Weldon has absolutely destroyed this car.
Weldon, with all 4 tires off the frame there, Weldon is certainly out of this one. What has happened to Weldon, who was battling for the lead of the drivers that have made their pit stop?
I don't know what happened there. At first, I thought it was another blinking scenario, but it indeed was not.
And a pass for the lead now. Titus Sherlock is fighting for it. He's got his elbows out, trying to get around Mitch Welker. And I think he's got it. Sherlock to the point.
Battle between Flory and Mitchum now for ninth, with more behind, getting ready to get into this one. That's Max Taylor.
So the top 6 drivers have yet to make their pit stop.
Now Taylor going to look to the inside. And Taylor is through. Flory headed in the wrong direction with a couple more drivers behind. That's Zach Flaum and Dan Miglin looking to get through as well.
Sherlock, Welker, Groff, Costello, and Engrav, the top 5. Keefe in 6th. Those are the drivers that have yet to make their stop. Here comes Mitch Welker roaring back to the lead into the chicane, and will take it back. Well-timed maneuver through Blanchimont to time that out to make the pass into the chicane, and Welker still the race leader. Costello in P4 has just turned the purple lap. But through Eau Rouge and Radillon here, Sherlock is going to have another go. If he can get through clean, he'll have a great look to take over the lead just the way he did it through a run down the Kemmel Straight.
Just saw a pass. Flaum did get past Flory there for 11th.
Sherlock closing. It may not be enough, and it is not. It closes within a couple of car lengths.
Top 6 still have to come down pit road here as well.
Things are only going to get crazier from here. So while we've got a second, why don't we take a look at what happened to Sebastian Weldon there, running, I believe, in the 8th position at the time.
Oh, it looks like maybe a wheel disconnect or something. I mean, just turns straight right into those tire barriers. Take one more look here. You'll see the car just turn straight right there.
Yeah, that thing went dead straight. Dang.
And also, I don't know if maybe that was some netcode contact. Looked like clipped another driver, but I don't think that other driver does actually have the damage. So
I think that would have been Christopher Hill, and he landed square on the halo. And we know from our days in the Daredevil series, if you can manage to land right on top of somebody, it won't actually damage the car. And indeed, Hill is still out there in P8. Matt Short in the chat says that he was missing his front wing, and around that fast turn, I believe turn 8, that'll do it.
I was just really strange because it was like the car
sure.
was turning, and then all of a sudden just wasn't. I don't know. Very strange. And I did see the wing fly off, but I thought it was there when he started the turn, and then it just like flew off mid-turn. It was very odd.
Well, we are in the Ardennes.
Contact here between Flaum and Flory, and Flaum is going to go way wide, going to enter the racetrack, cuts the chicane there, but it's going to have to give up the time.
Yeah, he'll lose a couple of spots. Did a similar thing in the sprint race as well, but this time keeps it pointed in the right direction.
Meanwhile, up front, Sherlock and Welker still going at it here for the top spot. Sherlock just has not quite been able to get within striking distance.
It's hard for him to know what striking distance is as well, because Welker is still blinking everywhere.
Here's Christopher Hill and McDougal now. Both of them the top two drivers that have been down pit road already.
McDougal, of course, still getting the new tires up to temperature, but running slower lap times than Mitch Welker and Titus Sherlock up front. So, but we didn't get much running in. McDougal did pit from the lead. Sherlock still within a couple of car lengths here. Welker able to open that gap up out of the chicane.
Sherlock piped in the purple lap here as the fuel load is getting lighter. Here comes Hunter Engrav down pit road.
I think I've lost my live lap timing, because it says that Mitch Welker's best lap is a 4-minute, 15-second lap, which, considering he's leading the race, I don't think that's possible.
That's actually what it says on mine, too, and I'm wondering if it's because he's blinking every lap, and it's just
maybe
not registering, potentially. Although it does say his last lap was a 1:54.62,
yes.
So that doesn't make any sense.
It definitely does. Okay, so it's not just me then. That's nice. But Welker, yes, with connectivity issues, but leading. Titus Sherlock.
Christopher Hill
still battling hard here.
Right in front of McDougal. McDougal trying to fight back here.
Yeah, in theory, this could be for provisionally the top spot, depending on how things cycle out. And Hill has the pace. There's no doubt about it to get through on Sam McDougal.
There's Christian Jasper in the chat. Indeed, a 40-car grid.
They did not survive past the first turn in either the sprint or the feature.
Sherlock closing in. Welker disappearing and reappearing again right in front.
This is into the final two turns, the chicane once again. Oh, and now Welker going to go to the pits. So Sherlock will have clean air. We have seen the overcuts work more often than not. But
this is certainly a different race, though.
Yes, it certainly is. Only 8.5 minutes left after 2 cautions to open this one up. Only 20-ish minutes of racing. Just about 20 on the nose.
Well, this battle for second has now become the battle for second between Jeff Groff and Michael Costello. Costello able to get around Groff here. Groff trying to get back into the slipstream.
Michael Costello up to second. About 5 seconds behind Titus Sherlock, who now has nobody around him. Very interesting night here for the GoSquadra Formula Super Series Season 2 debut.
There's a 3-way battle farther back. This is for 11th. Miglin currently has it. But here comes Flory and Flaum. Flaum is going to get the worst of it. Matt Johnston's right here in the middle of it as well now.
And Flory right now at the top AM in that 11th position. And should point out as well, Mitch Welker cycled out ahead of Christopher Hill by almost 6 seconds, as here comes Titus Sherlock down pit road. And Michael Costello and Jeff Groff will follow as well. So Welker looking good to be in at least a battle for the lead, if not the lead outright, depending on how Sherlock can get on and off pit road.
Oh, and problem here for Keith. Don't know. Not sure what happened there.
Here we go, off pit road. Sherlock will pull up to the right side, but Welker with his tires up to temperature already. Sherlock will have to get them up, and he'll have to face down Eau Rouge and Radion to do it. But still within spitting distance of Mitch Welker for the win. Welker trying to break the toe down the Kemmel straight. And we're back on just like that for the race win.
Yeah, Sherlock closed that gap quickly there with the help of the slipstream.
Yeah, don't listen to me about the tire temp. These guys are just going to drive hard.
Well, you can't afford to wait. We're at 5.5 minutes to go now, and Sherlock has had troubles getting around Welker, so you can't take your chances and wait. You got to be able to go.
It's like Elliot Cox has had a problem into Lacombe.
Hill, Costello still close together here.
And we think this will be for third after Vince Keefe makes his pit stop.
Taylor and Groff now battling for the 6th position. Again, I should say.
And that will be for a top 5 if Keefe comes down pit road. And Keefe is coming down. Nope. Yes, he is. All right, so Welker leading, Sherlock, Costello, Hill, and Taylor the top 5. Jeff Groff in 6th. And Sam McDougall also right there in that mix as well.
Yes, battle for the top 5. Heating up pretty good. Battle for
Sherlock,
third as well.
Sherlock about 0.8 of a second behind as they head down the Kemmel Straight. Making up some time, but not quite enough this time around anyway. As Costello and Hill right there together through Lacombe.
Battle continues further back between Flaum and Flory. And Matt Johnston here. Flaum on the rebound. Look at this, a huge run up the inside.
Tries to make it stick. Ooh. Little rear end action there for Miglin. Trying to get that car woed down.
All 4 of these drivers have been battling constantly here since the round of pit stops that they took, which was right at the start of that second restart.
Boy, Titus Sherlock outbroke Mitch Welker big time into the chicane, but Welker gets great drive off. Still, it might be close enough here if he can hang with him through La Source and Eau Rouge and Radion.
Cody Claiborne now in the fight further back here as well, trying to get around Flory. Oh, and Flory, a little hiccup there through the final corner. Claiborne gets through.
So I believe this is the 2 to go lap, but everybody's made their pit stops, so we don't have to worry about that. Sherlock has cut it back inside of half a second.
And Groff has lost Taylor as Taylor's starting to catch Christopher Hill and Michael Costello.
Yeah, the gap between Costello and Hill has not changed all that much, but now they've got a third party to deal with.
Whoa! And Taylor almost hits the wall there towards the grass. And lap times just continue to get better and better here as the fuel burns.
Yeah, Sherlock last time around clocked the purple lap, a 154.020. Personal best sectors for each of the top two drivers here. Welker is doing all he can to keep Sherlock behind him. He's keeping him to 3/4 of a second. But Sherlock has been outbraking him like crazy, especially here into the chicane, coming to the white flag. Sherlock inside of a car length. Oh, slides the rears, though, big time. Great drive off for Welker. Big mix-up into the chicane there for the final podium spot. Costello, Taylor, and Groff all go off. So does Christopher Hill. Hill with a slowdown and potentially some damage to that car as well. I believe he hit the barriers going off the track. Hill is off the podium and may not be able to finish this race.
Here
Down the straight we go for the lead. Sherlock going to go around the outside into the comb. A double moved. Welker can't fire back. Sherlock retakes the lead. Welker now will have to lie in wait and try to set up something through Blanchimont in the final chicane. It could be a last lap pass if Welker can hang on to it. Boy, a four-wheel slide there off track. Whatever happened there in the final chicane to the third-place runners and the rest of the top five, it broke that group up. Costello with almost 2 seconds back to Max Taylor, so a podium well in hand for driver number 12. But this is not settled up front. The clock is struck 0. Through the fast part of the course here. Headed to Blanchimont for the final time. Welker closing. What does he have up his sleeve here? Headed to the chicane. A huge run. Sherlock will stay to the right. Contact! Sherlock is going to hang on. Titus Sherlock will cross the stripe and fends off the challenge from Mitch Welker. Sherlock takes the season opener for the GoSquadra Formula Super Series at Spa. Welker in second. Costello will round out the podium. They all crash after the checkers have dropped.
Matt Johnston able to win the battle for the top 10 here with Zach Flaum.
And top AM honors today, I believe, are going to go to Dan Miglin. If I'm not mistaken. Let me double check that first. And then no, it's actually Cody Claiborne. Claiborne, Miglin, and Fleury. Top AMs all together, 12th, 13th, and 14th. So that's the top AM podium. There's actually 6 AMs in a row, all the way down to 17th. But nicely done for Titus Sherlock. And we'll have to take a look at that. I think it's now official. Let's take a look at that final run down the checkers and also maybe see what happened with Christopher Hill and the rest of the top 5 runners there.
Yeah, we'll try and see what happens with Hill here. He's the one that I think got the worst of the incident. Oh, and it looks like contact is made between him and I'm not sure exactly who that is. Is that Taylor, maybe? I think it was. Taylor. And indeed it was. So Hill wants to go up the inside here. Taylor wants to do the same, and in the braking zone, makes contact with Hill there. Taylor has a big bottle as well. That was the contact there through the chicane for in the top 5. And let's see this battle as Sherlock got a huge run here coming to the straightaway and was actually able to get alongside of Welke before they even really got to the straight. Welke tries to get in the slipstream and make a move up the inside, but it just was not there. But Welke was not done yet. Wow, Welke really hanging it out there through that left-hander.
Yeah, you could tell he was giving it full beans. There was no doubt about it.
And both of these drivers were giving it their all the entirety of the second half of this race, I guess you could say.
So the whole race.
Yes, the entire actual race. Here they come to this quick left-hander, Welke. Looking to use the slipstream, gets right up to the outside of Sherlock. Actually noses ahead for a moment. There's the contact. And Welke nearly gets into the back of Sherlock again through that final chicane, but Sherlock able to hang on and take the checkers. That was a duel for 20 minutes here tonight.
Absolutely. These two put on a show up front. We're excited to get to talk to them, and also to Michael Costello, who started in 31st here for this race. Excited to hear what all he has to say about this one. So we'll talk to your podium finishers here momentarily. Max Taylor in 4th. Jeff Groff will round out your top 5 here today. Sam McDougall will finish in 6th. Hunter Engrave, a big move through the field for him as well. He'll finish in 7th. Matt Mitchum off the pole will finish in 8th. Christopher Hill will limp it around for 9th place here tonight. And 10th will go to Matt Johnston. 11th for Zach Flaum. Top am tonight, presented by 4D Racewear, is Cody Claiborne. He will finish in 12th. Dan Miglin in 13th. Nick Fleury in 14th. Vince Keefe in the 15th position. Kyle Allen 16th. Brett Hand in 17th. Brian Labarge in P18. Nick Goyette in 19th. And David Patton in 20th. 21st for Peter Donchak. Those are your lead lap finishers. 22nd for Riker Matz. And 23rd for Elliot Cox. Not sure how many other drivers in this bunch finished the race. Griffin Yellen in 24th. Drew Such in 25th. Eric Coons in 26th. Sebastian Weldon, a tough exit for him down in P27. Look to have the pace to maybe win the feature here. It'll be Matt Schlosser in 28th. Dakota Dumaid in 29th. Jesse Lacey in 30th. Kevin Bonomi 31st. Zach Buchanan in 32nd. Cameron Dance, Drew White, and J.J. Wang, your top 35. Noah Smart, Mario Cappellucci, Byron Daly, Jowdy Gregorio, and Gavin Baird, your 40-driver grid here tonight. So we will bring in your third-place finisher now. Michael Costello saw just about everything here tonight, I would imagine, even all the way down onto the final lap. Congratulations on the podium.
Yeah, thank you so much.
31st on the starting grid. Third on the finishing order. Did you think it possible line it up for the feature tonight?
No, to be honest, my thought going into it was, just keep my nose clean because I knew a lot of people were going to crash. And, just kept my nose clean into it and just kept pushing forward. But to be honest, as I said before, definitely not. I thought I was probably going to get tangled up into a crash because of just how far back I was. But thank goodness I wasn't. And, it went well for me.
Absolutely. Matt, what do you got for Michael?
Oh, well, congrats on a great finish here, and I'm sure starting that far back, seeing obviously the big wrecks early on there, and you've run out of time to be able to do it on the racetrack. So what was going to be a 40-minute feature really turned into a 20-minute. I mean, how do you approach that when you're expecting a longer race and it ends up becoming a sprint?
Just kind of put back to IRL racing experience. You just got to keep pushing forward. Any chance you get to pass someone, you just have to go. I mean, even under caution, you just have to know, okay, with a field that big, it's probably better to be very aggressive on the first lap, apart from being, really passive. And the goal is just to get by as many people as you can. And yeah, it's just about keep passing people whenever you get the chance and just keep pushing forward.
Well, welcome to the GoSquadra Formula Super Series podium. Anybody you want to thank or shout out?
Yeah, I'd like to thank the team for everything. Titus, Sam for strategy and obviously for the amount of preparation we've done. I'd like to thank ProGuard Warranty for everything they've done for me this season for IRL, EDA eyewear. I'd like to also thank Race Suit Valet for always keeping my suits clean. And I'd also like to thank, honestly, Sim Magic for the amazing sim parts. And yeah, that's about it.
Alrighty, partner. Go celebrate a hard-fought podium here tonight, and hopefully we'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much.
All right, we're going to go a bit out of order here because we are going to talk to your 40 Racewear top AM here tonight, and that is Cody Claiborne in P12. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, after surviving the carnage of the feature here tonight, you had a long string of amateur drivers there behind you who are all keen to get their elbows out. How did you come away with the top AM position tonight?
Yeah, no, it was a lot of good racing out there. I think me and Dan finished like 0.04 apart. It was a real race to the line there, but just tried to keep it clean through those first few big wrecks and just kept pushing.
Well, you have anybody you want to thank or shout out tonight?
Yeah, thanks to the admins for bearing with us for all of those full course yellows. Big shout out to my teammate Dakota, even though he did get taken out in the race. And congrats to all the other AMs out there.
Well, congrats on top AM here tonight. Go celebrate. We'll hopefully talk to you again soon.
Thank you very much.
And he just went mute. Hopefully he is here because this will be the first time that we've got Mitch Welker in booth 200. We've got the FIS champ in the booth as second place finisher here tonight. First of all, congrats on the results after a wild race here tonight.
Thanks much. Yeah, everybody's obviously rusty. We got a lot of new people, just a lot to figure out. The internet issues. I'm trying to get hardwired as soon as I can, but I wasn't the only one either. So 2 yellows. We hit everything tonight, but glad to come out of it with some kind of points haul.
I'm just happy you finished with all 4 tires on the car because the way your car was blinking, it was just kind of flinging the tires around. It looked pretty grotesque. But regardless of whether your tires were attached or not, this car had a lot of speed in it here tonight. You obviously, for anybody that has never seen you on turn 200 before, you've got a lot of speed up at the front of this field. Once we get back green and everybody kind of pits and you've got a group of 6 behind you that stay out, how does that change the focus? Were you expecting that many cars to kind of pull off right away to make a pit stop?
I was expecting that many because, look at that. 20 minutes passed. Everybody goes in, gets it done, they think they're sneaky. No, you're giving up your clean air. At least that's what the leader did there. I think it was, who was it, Sam?
Yeah,
I think gave up clean air to go pit, and that was really baffling to me. He let me just get into clean air and go, and I ended up like 5 or 6 seconds ahead of him, I think. So that was a bit baffling. Glad I stuck with my guns and ended up pitting later. Once that happened, it was just go as hard as I can, keep Titus behind me, use that clean air to pull ahead.
Matt, what do you got?
Well, speaking of Titus, that was one heck of a show that the both of you put on for us here tonight. That was a showdown if I've ever seen one. So, congrats on the great finish, first of all. But Titus got around you a couple of times, and then, of course, right there, the very last lap, he was able to get a big run on you before the straight and pull alongside you. But you almost got it done through the chicane. Walk me through that final lap.
Yeah, I knew he would deploy the push to pass down the first long full throttle section, so I didn't use it. Kind of just let him go by, and I knew if I could stick with him, then I could catch him later on. And I got back on the push to pass right after Puan, and followed him all the way up the chicane, hoping to make a move. And unfortunately, a combination of netcode and him kind of missing that corner kind of pushed me off. Unfortunately, yeah. So I didn't really get a fair shake at being beside him, but Glad for the effort, and I thought it was the smartest way I could have tried to do that.
Absolutely. It was a great race here tonight. I know we'll get you one better here soon, but in the meantime, shout outs and thank yous for you here tonight.
Yeah, shout out to FSS and the admins at Formula Racing Series for this cool idea, this cool format. Got a lot of people out tonight. That was great. Shout out to my teammate Zach Buchanan. I think unfortunately he had a bit of an incident causer for the second yellow, but he has some decent pace, and I think once we move on to Donington or especially Portimao, he's really probably pretty good at. So hoping to see some more result out of him. Shout out to my partners, Lazy Rocket, Open Medicine Foundation, primaries on the car, and LW Haugen as well. That'll be about all, I think.
Alrighty, FIS champ Mitch Welker here in booth 200 for the first time. Congrats on the P2, and we'll hopefully talk to you again next week.
Cheers, have a good one.
All right, and now it is time to talk to the winner of the Ardennes Grand Prix here tonight. That is Titus Sherlock. In a spirited battle up front here tonight, we'll take the first feature of the season here for the GoSquadra Formula Super Series. Congrats on the win.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Thank you to everyone at FIS or FSS, for this race, and yeah, good start to the season.
I mean, going toe-to-toe with Mitch Welker here on the sim, that's always pretty impressive. He's stout. We know you're stout as well. But, dueling it out here for the last couple laps in an abbreviated sprint. Was it fun? Was it pressure? How much of both was it?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Once the cautions ended, it was just kind of me and him battling for the lead. We were pretty much the same pace. It was just kind of about using your overtake at the right spot at the right time. And, yeah, luckily I was able to get that done.
Matt, what do you got for your race winner?
Yeah, congrats on a great run. Great show from you and Mitch for us. So thank you for that, and thanks to for everybody that was watching here. I know that they enjoyed that one. But coming to that final lap, was that kind of the way that you drew it up to get the push to pass going there before the straight, or did you have something else up your sleeve that you thought you might be able to try as well?
Well, I wish I would have had a little bit more than I did at the last lap, but yes, I did want to pass him after the Camel straight, because passing into the last chicane is pretty difficult. It's a lot easier to defend there, which I did my best to do. So yeah, that was pretty much the plan I had going into the final lap, and luckily it worked out.
Well, great job here tonight. First to Medi, I'm sure. Are you planning on doing the full schedule here?
I'm not sure. I do have some real life commitments that might get in the way at some point, but I would love to try to do all the races to hopefully get the championship at the end.
That's kind of what I figured. A man in demand. That's not a bad thing to be, that's for sure. But nice job on the win here tonight. I know you've got some thank yous off already, but anybody else you want to thank or say hi to?
Yeah, everyone on the Eclipse competition team. We started out around a year ago, me and a couple of my friends, and we now have 40 drivers, and we brought a lot of them here as well. And just thank you to everyone there that's helped me and helped the whole team get faster. So thank you to everyone.
Yeah, certainly a lot of Eclipse drivers on the grid here tonight, and one of them walked away with the dubs. So go celebrate the win. We'll hopefully talk to you again next week.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
That is Titus Sherlock, the winner of the Ardennes Grand Prix tonight. Thank you very much to ProGuard Warranty and EDA Eyewear for sponsoring tonight's season opening race for the GoSquadra Formula Super Series. Well, we certainly had some issues first off the track and then on the track to work through. But it's Spa with an open wheel car. You can't go wrong with racing here. It ended up being pretty fun.
Yeah, after all of the chaos there at the beginning, we come down to it, and it's right back to unbelievable racing, as it always is here with the GoSquadra Formula Super Series. Drivers put on one heck of a show for us, both in the sprint race, radio style, and then partially on camera, but then also here in the feature race once we actually got to the racing. It was incredible. Just wish we would have gotten to see more of it, but great stuff from everybody here tonight, and really, really looking forward to the rest of the season here coming up.
Anybody you want to thank here tonight, Matt? Who's hanging out with us?
Well, I'd like to thank all of the folks that were in the chat here. Jeff Mathis was here, Christian Jasper, Matt Short, Michael DeTurk, Crusher Lusher, Neil Lusher, Peter Donchak was here as well. And I think that was
John
everybody. John Newt, I'm sorry. I had a lot going on. I missed a couple of them. But thank you guys for tuning in and chatting with us here tonight. And anybody else that is watching or will watch the replay, we appreciate the support. If this is your first time seeing Turn 200, do not let the technical difficulties scare you away. We will be much better the next time you get to see us. And if you would, think about subscribing and supporting us. That would be greatly appreciated.
Absolutely. Next time you will see us is tomorrow night with the Venom Truck Series. That is the endurance race at Auto Club Speedway. Very excited for that one, 8:15 p.m. Eastern time for that. Wednesday night, it's the Daredevil Series from 2008 Phoenix Oval. That'll be 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern time for that one. That's the Lotus 79, primarily ovals. It's a meme. It's a gag. It's a good time. Come join us on Wednesday nights for the Daredevil Series. Thursday night, it's the Max VCNC Home Designs Truck Series. Coming off of another banger race. They are headed to Richmond this week, and that'll be a very interesting short track race. It sure was last time we went there as well. So 9:15 p.m. Eastern time on Thursday night. And I said that we'd be live on Sunday. I am wrong. I forgot. I have a sprint car race to call on Sunday in real life, so I will not be here for the Mission R Challenge. That will be tape delayed and probably will be made available in 2 Sundays. But that's a shame because that's an Interlagos. Still looking forward to that. But again, it will not be live on Sunday afternoon. But that will lead us back into what will be live next week, Donington Park, for the first time on Turn 200. And that will be for the GoSquadra Formula Super Series Season 2, Round 2. Very much looking forward to that one. Yeah, we'll see if we can get all 40 minutes under green next week at Donington Park, although maybe not. But, well, we could certainly hope that. But regardless, we'll hope to see you back here next Monday night. Thank you to everybody that helps make this possible. Thank you to 4D Racewear for sponsoring the Amateur Championship. Thank you to GoSquadra for sponsoring the Pro Championship. And, of course, thank you to ProGuard Warranty and EDA Eyewear for sponsoring tonight's Ardennes Grand Prix, the season opener of the GoSquadra Formula Super Series. Thank you to the entire FSS admin team as well. They did a fantastic job here tonight, wading through a lot of the difficulties of having a ginormous grid. So well done to them. Very much looking forward to continuing this partnership through the rest of the season and beyond. But that is all we got for you here tonight. On behalf of my partner, the GOAT, the one and only Mr. Matt Williamson, until we meet again from Spa-Francorchamps, I'm Tommy Cook saying so long and congratulations to Titus Sherlock on taking his first career GoSquadra Formula Super Series victory.
This has been a live broadcast on Turn 200. Be sure to hit subscribe and hit the bell to get notified of when we go live next. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you again soon.